This look was done exclusively with drugstore makeup products only. Keep watching if you want to see which one I used and how I used them. I'm going to go in with this ROC moisturizer. This is really, really rich feeling on the skin. Then I'm going with my Maybelline Grippy Serum. This is one of my favorite primers next to the e.l.f. Jelly Pot Primer. Just rub this really well into the skin. You can never go wrong with adding one more step, and I love to add this Hard Candy Grip On Lock. I want a really full coverage base when going with my e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. This is my favorite drugstore foundation at the moment. And I like to just carve out my brows first, and that just lets my foundation warm up on the skin and it blends in way better. I just like to go straight in with my buffing brush, and I do not rub. I like to tap it into the skin. It gives a better coverage and a better blend. And here's my side-by-side comparison of how good the coverage on this. I'm so red over here, and this is just the perfect neutral color. And for my under eyes, I'm going to go with the Morphe Hydrating Concealer. This is the perfect concealer if you don't like thick ones. It's very lightweight and very thin, but the coverage is there. I do two shades, one to color correct, that's a little bit closer to my foundation shade, and then I do one much lighter to brighten my under eyes. This combo is Chef's Kiss. To blend that out with a brush as well, because I like that it doesn't pick up all the product like a beauty blender does. I like to keep my concealer really high on the cheekbones. I feel like it gives a really snatched lifting effect, and it also gives my blush a brighter base to stick to and makes my blush show up even more opposed to putting on my foundation shade. Now for powder, I love my Morphe setting powder. I like to do brightening peach under my eyes and then translucent everywhere else. Because this is 2026, we're not using cream bronzer or cream blush. Just go straight in with my powder and just tap that into the skin. I start with my under eyes, and then I'm going to do the rest of my whole entire face. I want to be super, super bronze, so I'm going with my tried and true City Girl bronzer in the shade 300. I go in really heavy, and I just start tapping that product straight in. If you tap in your powder products instead of rubbing it back and forth, it's going to give you that really pretty, seamless, airbrushed look. Now I do the same thing for my cheeks. I just keep tapping until I've worked up the product to where I like the coverage. And for my nose, I like to really focus that bronzer on underneath the tip, right on the sides of the bridge. I like to do a little half circle to fake like a lifted button nose. I'm going to do a sunset blush moment, and these two shades from Morphe are going to be perfect. I'm going to focus the orangey shade up here, and then I'm going to go in this brighter pink right on the apples and blend them together to give it a really pretty sunset look. So I'm just focusing this poolside spritz shade right on the lifted part of my cheek. That is so pretty on its own, but I love to add the brighter one just to give a really pretty ombre effect. This may be my favorite blush that I've ever done. I'm going to go with this Bronzed Splendor highlight from Milani. It's a really pretty champagne bronze gold shade. Just a little goes a long way. Always going to hit the Cupid's bow. I think it's so cute. For eyeliner, I'm going to use Morphe Sweet Tea. I'm going to use my Ulac lipstick. I'm just going to blend it out with my finger. I'm going to use my Morphe Drip Glass. The shade is Beige Beam. I think that we just nailed the Baddie Full Glam.